Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb, and I wanted to bring a quick video here about the updates on some of the models here on basically Hurricane Lane hitting Hawaii. And as you see right here, this is according to Ventu Sky, which is one of the predictive models. And you look here, this is actually late on the 23rd, and I've actually said the 23rd was a big possible day. 21st, 22nd, 23rd. It looks like on the 22nd we're going to start seeing effects. And I was saying 22nd, 23rd, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. So it could be a little bit sooner. It could slow down. That's what I'm kind of predicting. It's going to slow down and just sit over the Hawaiian Islands longer than they probably predict. So it's basically going kind of under it and then coming straight up. So here's this example here from Venture Sky. And that's at that darkest spot there, which is right over the south end of the Big Island. I mean, that is 20 plus inches of rain. And you can imagine that much rain hitting the island with those fissures going into the fissures, hitting that hot lava, seeping in, landslides and things happening because of all the lava and things, and the just brand new formed volcanic rock and everything. I mean, it is going to be crazy. So whether they just rely on that to cause it to happen, and a big chunk of it to fall into the ocean, or they use some other thing, I'm predicting that they may use something else to push it over the edge. Like I said, they're sending the NASA submarine to that section of the Big Island right off the coast there. So I'm not sure what they're going to do exactly, but it looks like it's going to hit. And, again, I'm going to show you here in a second the NOAA's model, which is, again, most of the time very inaccurate. Okay, so here's NOAA's model, and again, they say pretty much nothing to see here. The standard stuff, even though I'm showing many other models hitting Hawaii. This is the standard playbook. This is the standard movie plot, basically, like I was saying. This is the cover story that, hey, nothing's going to happen here, and then it's going to somehow surprisingly go north at the last minute when everybody's stuck on the Big Island, which is pretty much typical. So I'm going to go to these other models and show you several other models that are actually showing it impacting Hawaii. Okay, so this is the GFS model, which has been probably more accurate than NOAA's different models. So I'm going to play this little animation here. You can see where it's going. So on the right side, you see that L for low, and as it's moving, you see that's the storm, and or the hurricane is going to be going right up to Hawaii. There's a little hook there, and bam, right there. Okay, so that's one there. Okay, so the next one I'm going to show you is called the NavGem, and I wanted to pull up a definition of what it is. The Navy Global Environmental Model is a global numerical weather prediction computer simulation run by the United States Navy's Fleet Numerical Meteorology and Oceanography Center. So they've got to be somewhat accurate because it's the Navy uses this. So I'm going to show you next here. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to play this little animation here. And there you go. It's hitting Hawaii. Boom, boom, right around it. So that's hitting right at it. There it goes. Boom. All right, so there's another one here I'm going to show you. Okay, so here's the last one I'm going to show you, I think, here. Another model. Kind of reminds me of like a vacuum, and it's kind of sucking it right to it almost. Boom, this one's showing it kind of dissipating as it hits, but it's a direct hit. So there we go. So I want to also talk about last night we had a huge earthquake, and it was an 8.2, and it was 465 miles deep. Now, this is the 20th largest earthquake ever recorded. And then we've had subsequent earthquakes, 4, 5, and 6 magnitude since then, several. This is a big deal. To hit this timing of this week that's coming up here for Hawaii, getting this hurricane. Again, I don't think this is not coincidence. This is planned. Either they knew that this was coming and they knew things were weakening, or they basically caused some of these things to happen. They have weapons to do this. They have several things that they can start earthquakes. They have HARP. They have other things that they've used, and there's a lot of evidence of that. So just be on your alert. Let people know. Anybody you know that's in Hawaii or on the West Coast or anywhere on the Pacific Rim, anyone sees this, please, and I would beg you to just share this with other people as the potential. Now, again, I don't know the future. I'm using just a bunch of different information that I have, what the dark side of the coin is doing, the people that want to cause chaos, what God's trying to do to warn people, and most people are not listening, of course. So whatever you can do, get this to as many people as possible so they can at least be warned. That's all I care about. I'm doing these because of this. I don't get any credit. I make nothing on this. I'm spending my time doing this. Just please get this out to as many people as possible. Let them see these models and things because, you know, the government, our government is basically not showing all the potential here. They're just showing their narrative that they want to show. And then I pretty much guarantee they're going to, at the very end, have it go up and smack it before anybody realizes, and they're stuck in Hawaii. So I want to put this out there real quick. The other thing I wanted to show as well is the correlation between another big reason why I thought August 23rd, 2018 was a big day. I saw it on an iPad Goat like I shared before, but I'm going to show you something else here. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. So we look at Hurricane Lane. Looks like it might be hitting the 22nd and 23rd. I mean, it could vary a little bit, but this is kind of crazy. So I wanted to tie this into Revelation 12 sign because that's the only reason why I even knew this was coming. Because when I basically thought, hey, it could be attached to the actual birth 9/9, which is, as you see on the top there, it entered on November 20th. Jupiter entered Virgo on November 20th, 2016, and then it exited the body of Virgo, the Virgin, on 9/9, September 2017. So that is a difference of 293 days, as I've shared in my other videos. And so, looking at possible timing, I was adding those days onto the. I really felt that the Lord was telling me that was a time frame, as far as the birth goes. He made it pretty clear to me that there's something going on with that. Whether that pointed to me to events that we're going to start, or that would be actually the beginning of the contractions and all that. I don't know all that, but I know that this is tied. These are tied together. When the first calamity starts happening, the first chaos starts happening, it's tied to the Revelation 12 sign. And another reason I know that is because I'm going to do another video and I'm going to show how my daughter's dream that she had when she was 4 years old, far before we knew any of this information. And I was never told this by my daughter or my wife. My wife didn't even know what she was talking about. And then we found out about her dream. I'll have a link to her dream on this video as well, and you can see it yourself. But I'm going to do another video about that. Basically, she saw the woman. She saw the Revelation 12 sign, the woman and the lion in the sky with stars around them. Years before we knew that, she didn't know anything about that. She didn't even know what it was. My wife had no idea what she was even talking about. And in that same dream, there was an earthquake that just buildings crumbled, and it was a huge mega earthquake. So anyway, so this is the time frame that's kind of shows the conception and birth. I wanted to show this here. So basically, this is how I came to this. So that is 293 days plus. I've shared this before in Leviticus 12. It talks about the male child being born. Okay. And if a male child, if the woman conceives and bears a male child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. At the time of her menstruation, she shall be unclean. And the 8th day, the flesh of the foreskin shall be circumcised. Then she shall continue 33 days in the blood of her purifying. Okay, so we have, when you add those days together, the 7, the 1, and the 33, you end up with 41 days. Okay, one of the reasons, so I was thinking, I thought about this a while back when the Revelation 12 sign was around. I'm like, well, maybe there's 41 more days or something, and Lord brought me to this, but I did not know the correlations that were coming. Again, these are breadcrumbs the Lord leaves, and just like truth, just like understanding of other things, if you follow Him and listen, and God, He will give you breadcrumbs to the actual goal, or the understanding that you need. It's not. It's a process. It's a relationship. It's a process. So here we go. So there's 293 days plus 41 days equals 334 days. Okay. So now look at the top here. So it's crazy because here's 41 weeks and 7 days, which is the 293 days. And then here, look over here, 41 days, 41 weeks, 41 days. It confirmed for me that that is substantial. Why? And so I thought, what in the past, why not 42 weeks? Why 1 day off 42 weeks? Well, this is why. It's 41 weeks and 6 days, and that's pointing to the 41 days of her purifying, and the circumcision of the male child and all that. That's crazy. I mean, wow. And so I'm wondering if there's something to the 6 days as well. I don't know. Maybe it's the 6th hour of the day or something. I mean, I don't know. The 6th hour of the day, yeah, I don't know. I'm just speculating here on that, but it's kind of crazy how these kind of match up there. So again, we have 334 days. And I shared before that 334, which is 2 times 167, which is there's a long story to this whole thing, but in Hebrew, that adds up, or 334 is a number for the divine bride, and that's what some different scholars were saying, that the primary significance of 334 is the divine bride. Are you kidding me? That is crazy. So you add the 334 to the Revelation 12 sign, and you get the Revelation 12 sign 923, and you get Thursday, August 23rd. Wow. It just so happens that Kilauea will meet Hurricane Lane probably in direct impact on the 23rd. That's crazy. Okay, let me show you something else. Remember that missile alert that happened in Hawaii? This is not a coincidence as well. In Hawaii, it's the center of the universe right now for some reason. There's a ballistic missile. This is what people saw on their cell phones. Ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. And then, they later said, oh, it was somebody hit the wrong key. Wow. I mean, anybody knows anything about this kind of stuff? That's not how this works. It is not left to one person to decide. And so that was, here's the description of it. The 2018 Hawaii false missile alert. On January 13, 2018, a false ballistic missile alert was issued via the emergency alert system and commercial mobile alert system over television, radio, cell phones in the U.S. state of Hawaii. So that was the day that it happened. And again, this is not how this works. Someone can't just hit a key and that's how this works. There's more protections than that. In fact, this guy here, this was on NBC Nightly News. This is on Washington Post. Basically, this guy is being interviewed. I'm really not to blame. Fired Hawaii worker says false missile threat was system failure. So, he was thrown under the bus by this. Again, here's a cover story. The cover story is this guy hit the wrong button, right? I mean, that's insane. I mean, who would leave that to, one person? It's just some guy who was hired. That's just not correct. Look into it a little bit and you'd see that's not how it works. But that's what they've said. Okay, and this guy is saying, I'm not the guy, don't blame me. And so why I'm mentioning this is because this is interesting. So they're all into timing, the Luciferians, the ones who put this together, the ones who actually did this missile threat in the first place, the ones who are behind Hurricane Lane and Hector and all the hurricanes and things like I showed in my last video. Why is this significant? Well, they're into numbers and timing for their religion, like I said, and also the Revelation 12 sign, because they believe that the birth of Jupiter is about to happen. Okay, the way God uses it, Jupiter is a representation of the largest planet, the king planet, because it's the largest. It's considered the king planet. It has stripes on it, and it has a hole, in a sense, or the pierce mark on it, like when Jesus was pierced with a spear. So that's God's representation. But later it was named Jupiter, as in going back to Egypt times. It's the same as Osiris, and going back to the Babylonian mystery religion, which is Nimrod. And Nimrod was reborn as the sun, and then Tammuz was his son that he killed, and then he came back to life and everything. It's just crazy. But they believe that Jupiter will be born, which is the Antichrist. At the same time, God is saying the bride of Christ will be birthed into heaven. Okay, so I'm sharing you this because look at this. So this is when it's looking like predicting. A few models are basically saying that it's going to hit. Hurricane Lane is going to beginning to hit. And this is just a precipitation example here, but you see the outer bands right here. Okay, just starting to hit Hawaii right there. Okay, so it looks like it's going to start beginning on the 22nd. Well, why is that insignificant? Well, because 333 days from Revelation 12 sign. You know what? I skipped something here, actually. I skipped something here. So that's significant as well. But what I was talking about, I'm sorry, I missed something here. What I was talking about with this guy here, from basically January 13th. Okay, you see January 13th. I missed putting something in here. It is, let's go back over here, but January 13th to August 23rd, which is when it really impacts here, is, guess what, 222, oops, yeah, 200, if I write this right, 222 days. I don't know why it's not writing right, but that's 222 days. That's crazy. So we have 222 days, and then we have the 333 days from the Revelation 12 sign to August 22nd, which is when it's going to begin hitting the island, looks like. This is crazy. This is all their weird religion stuff. And then, hidden in there is God knowing what the timing and everything as well. But they're trying to make this happen. And God's, knows that, so he knows that way ahead of time what they're doing. So this is in his prediction as well, which is a real prediction. But they're like forcing it. They're making these hurricanes. They're doing this stuff to try and, again, put graffiti over what God's done and make it their own symbols and their own, beliefs and all that stuff. So just letting you know how this is coming to pass here and some of the little hidden meanings in here. And that should do it for now. This is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.